Hello everyone, my name is Griff, and today we're going to be going over all of the news that was shown in the most recent Dragalia Digest, as well as the preview for our new Gala Dragalia. So as you see, when you go onto the Dragalia website right now, there is so much news that I have so many tabs open that we're going to just slowly go through everything that we have here. But before we get into this exactly, I want to quickly go over two things on Twitter for Dragalia Lost. So actually, they announced today that they are doing daily quizzes for the next 7 days. Now, I have no idea how this will work. Basically, they're doing a quiz every day, and today's prize is going to be 5 summon vouchers if you get the correct answer, and then also 5,000 rupees when you answer a question correctly. So I'm assuming the 5 summon vouchers goes out to everyone when this ends on when this information would happen. If we all get the correct answer, that's what it will be. If the most voted one is the correct answer, which I believe this one's Dragon Blood, so I'm gonna put Dragon Blood. Yeah, look at that. 95%. And then maybe the 5,000 will go out after, or they'll talk to people's accounts, or they'll DM them. I don't know. But for right now, there is a quiz every day on this Twitter, so make sure you go do that. The other thing is the Retweet Campaign. Now there's this one, which is the American one, which already has 10.7k, which means that we're already hitting our half of the 10k that we need. And I believe if I go to the Japanese Dragalia Twitter, which I'll just pull up really quickly, there is another one. Yeah, right here. And this one's pinned. This one's at 9k. And for those of you who don't know, basically the amount of retweets we get this time actually matters, because if you read this last part, for every 1,000 people retweets up to 25,000, players will also receive 1 summon voucher up to 25. So even though we've already hit 10k and we're already going to get this Sunlight Stone and this Wormite, there's more that we can get. So make sure if you haven't retweeted this yet, you go and retweet this. That's the number one important thing. But now let's get into the news. Let's just start with the version update, because this is pretty small. Because it basically just goes over things that they showed in the digest. So version update coming. It's going to be automatic update at the end of today, which is the 25th for me when I'm recording this. So by the end of the day tomorrow, or at reset tomorrow, you will have your free tenfold ticket, which you always get whenever there's a new update. And you also got a tenfold ticket from the digest yesterday, so that's 2 tenfold tickets back to back. Pretty good. This is just going over Notte's notes, which they already detailed in the digest, so I'm not going to really go over this again. I did, however, look at this in-game, and it has not counted your quests so far. It is only going by what you do after this update. So retroactively, you're not going to be able to see, which is a little bit disappointing, but it's whatever. It's fine. And then it goes about the Encyclopedia. You can see all the different voice lines. You can see the summon animations. It's pretty cool. And it goes over and details how the buffs work that you get. And it's basically 0.1% for a bunch of different things. And actually having units that are 70 MC'd actually matters. Because if you have a unit that's 70 MC'd, you get an extra 0.2% for having both the 70 MC and having them to level 100. So both of those matter, obviously. And then on top of that, dragons have 3 things that they count, which is bond level, unbind, and I believe it's dragon level. Yes, dragon level. So I'm a little skeptical of this, because it is enforcing a collection aspect for I should word this better. I like that this is so secluded, in the sense that it is something that is just a pure stat stick that won't actually value, 0.1% does not value a lot in the long run, but it does enforce a 100% completion rate to get these bonuses for even limited characters. I don't have any collab characters missing. I actually have all the collab characters, surprisingly enough. Thank you for that, but there are people who don't. There are people who are missing things like Tiki or Joker, and they'll never be able to get those full stats. So it is a little disappointing to see that, but it is what it is. There are no incentive rewards, but they did say they're going to be adding more to this, so hopefully we'll be able to see more cool things other than just these 2. Next up for this version update is something that's not going to come until April 7th, so be prepared for that. Trials of the Mighty, they just talked about how basically the same thing they said in the digest, and that the 3 of these are going to be added on the 7th, and we might get more in the future. But really, it's just saying, hey, everything that happened in the digest, it just writes it all up. So if you want to go read this, you should, because I'm not going to read through all of it. Then a bunch of little other changes like Anniversary coming back, auto unlock being used for Mana Sparrows, stuff like that. The design of the chairs got updated, which is pretty funny that they just put that. One important thing though is Chthonius is getting voice lines on the 2nd. And I believe this is when Galanot's banner ends, and it's where Alberius' banner would begin. So it seems to me, because the only other time we've gotten a character get, like a dragon get a VA, or a voice actor, was Meridimus. And right when Meridimus happened, he got Halloween Meridimus as an ult. So I would be very surprised if we did not get a Chthonius ult, especially since Chthonius is Alberius' dragon. So I'd just be very surprised if we didn't get that. Next is just the quality of life improvements, you know, everything they said in the digest. They list the quests. It's basically all void quests and the chimeras, which is super useful because if you're going for squishums or you're going for double drops or you need tier 4 orbs, super useful that you can just straight up just skip ticket them now. Then they go into some of the bug fixes, which again, it just talks about stuff that, I mean, it probably matters to you if you have any of these characters, but I'm not going to go over all of these because they're so character specific. So all in all, a pretty lackluster post, but it just goes into more detail. Well, I shouldn't say lackluster. Comparative to the digest, and all of this was already detailed in the digest, it's a pretty lackluster thing, but this is all stuff we already knew was going to happen due to the digest, so it's basically just more information on that. But everything in here I really like. It is a good quality update. I'm just not sure why we needed a 12-hour maintenance for this. Maybe that's just the new model. Every anniversary we'll get a 12-hour maintenance to anticipate hype, because I was definitely hyped. So, I don't know. Just another thing to note though is that Nature's Blessings are here, and this is going to be a daily quest, which means that you can get a Nature's Blessing every day instead of 3 a week with Moriarty's Reckoning. Or you can get 3 per run, but that's pretty hard to farm. This seems like it's going to be something you're going to want to do daily anyway. So it's pretty interesting to me that they're here and that they're also giving us Dragon Scales daily. So, you know, even if it takes you 50 days to get one, you do get a direct Dragon Scale increase, which means that your power is going to be going up. And I also think it's interesting that they chose Gala Ellie, Gala Ronzo, and Gala Yuden. Personally, I think that Gala Ronzo makes total sense. You know, he got buffed by 2.0, which was a super big buff, but even before then, people really wanted a Mana Spiral. Gala Ellie, I can see because in this Curse of Nihility, you know, Rise of Sinister Dominion meta where all these buff bots are going to be super weak, maybe they'll change her so that she's doing more damage-oriented things. And Goof kind of works the same way, Gala Yuden kind of works the same way, but he is one of the stronger, the light Gala units are all pretty strong in their own regard. Gala Luca is a monster, and Gala Zena is one of the best healers in the sense of being able to be a hybrid healer, because a lot of the times outside of Rise of Sinister Dominion, you don't really need a healer most of the time in the light element. You can just run, you know, Cupid, you can run Gala Zena, who has hybrid healing and damage. But it's interesting that they started with Goof, so I'm really curious to see what we'll get with those, but those will get announced next week. I'm also pretty glad that we're getting Mana Sparrows again. I do think that a lot of the things that they had planned for Mana Spirals were just put in when 2.0 was up because they just upgraded like 100 or so characters. So I would be surprised if we got a lot more Mana Spirals, but this is super good, and I'm glad that they're making a direct way to upgrade these characters. So it's pretty good to me. I like this a lot. Closing this, and the next thing is the 2.5 anniversary events. Now there's a lot of things. There's the Platinum Summon, the Gala Dragalia, the packs, the free daily tenfolds, the login bonus, all of that we've already seen, the raid. These two things right here though, we have not seen. They are resetting the social rewards, which if you don't know, when you play co-op at the beginning of the game, for the first, I believe it's the first 50 people, you get 50 Wormite per person. Which means that you'll be able to get 50 Wormite, oh, for the first 50 people you get 50 Wormite. You get 250 Wormite for just playing co-op. This is going to reset at the same time as the raid. It's resetting on the 27th at reset. So this is huge. And they're also bringing back the Champion Roads Endeavor. And the Champion Road Endeavors were endeavors that took you from, it was with the flame element at the time, and it took you from base game, start of the game, launch of the game, to Volk. And what this is doing is this is going from base game to High Mercury's Trial to Cielo's Wrath. So this is basically just the same thing we got for Flame, but for the wind element. but you will be able to get 5,000 Wormite from that. So this, just in these two things alone, you're getting 7,500 Wormite. They did not detail in the digest at all, which I was talking to people about the digest at all, and I was saying it was super weird how they didn't mention these things, and these things didn't happen. Turns out they just didn't bring them up, but they are happening. So it is pretty amazing that these things are happening. And then lastly, you're getting your double drops and your rotational map on the Advanced Dragon Trails and the Agito Uprising. Just to note, last time, and I believe this time people have confirmed it already, these are not double drops for solo. It's usually double drops on a specific day for co-op, and then half stamina, half links. So it's not quite as beneficial to do it in solo, but there is an incentive to do it in solo if you were already. If you have auto teams and you're just setting them up and putting them out, and you're saying, hey, I have an auto team and this is all I'm doing with it, then this is a good time to use that auto team. It's a good time to use your honey. So, you know, it's an interesting thing. The last time this happened, I believe, was the New Year's, and actually during that time, and when I'm going to do a video going over my account over the past 6 months, but I actually unlocked every single Agito weapon, which I didn't have before, but now I have them all. Maybe this time I'll bring them all up to tier 2, but that's a lot of rupees, so I don't know. It's a good opportunity, but I feel like as time goes on, I really want those double drops, half stamina for solo. Going over the login bonus for a second, I brought this up in my reaction, but this worm print is based around the event, and I believe it's going to come out during the event, so I'm super interested to see what they do with this. You obviously get mini merc, get 25 million rupees, that's going to go away super quick. All in all, super good login bonus. I'm super happy that we're getting Wormite and tickets again. All in all, I think it's like 200 summons or more was shown for free just in this week or so, or in the next 2 weeks, so there's a lot that we're going to be getting for free, especially when a spark is 300, and as we looked at the information, there's not going to be a limited character unless Vampy is limited, which I don't think she will. For those who don't know, Vania is a Cygames character. A lot of people refer to her as Vampy, so I knew her as Vampy, and that's why in my reaction I was a little confused who she was. So I was like, this character looks like Vampy. I thought her name was just Vampy. It's not. Her name is Vinya, so that's pretty interesting to me, but I call her Vampy. But I don't think she'd be limited because she's a Cygames character, and no other Cygame character, you know, like Lily, Albert, Urias, or even Pecorine has been limited. So I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but them giving out so much free stuff between these 3 or 4 things right here, just this row, is insane. It's 90 summons for free. It's 2,000 Wormite, then another 2,500, and then another 5,000. Like, it's a lot for players, and I couldn't be happier. I'm super glad that they're going back to this model of giving people more roles and just giving people more freedom in general, because I feel like that's super important. Just as the game grows, to give people and incentivize people not only to summon, because a lot of the people haven't been summoning recently because they want to save for these limited banners, but now they laid out the entire, you know, all the way up to summer, all these new units that we're going to get, and they laid out, hey, this is when this banner is going to be coming up, this might be a focus character you want, and that's super good, and I think that's going to help the game a lot in the long run. But all in all, I just wanted to highlight that these 2 things are coming. Where are they? These 2 things, yeah. Nope, these 7 and 8 were not shown in the digest, but they are coming, so that is super duper important. Next up, slight just adjustment to Affliction lowering skills. They buffed them all the ones that are here, which is Halloween Melsa, sorry, Forma Noel, and Kimono El-san. All just got buffs, and so did Ferris. This is all good. I believe that they're focusing towards a more, still going towards that double buff, or double, like, Affliction Punisher meta. So, it is what it is, but I'm here for it, for this. I'm never going to be upset at characters getting buffs. This is just about the Retweet Campaign. You know, I already brought this up, but you just follow and retweet, and you'll be able to get the rewards when it ends. I don't know exactly, when does it say it ends? It doesn't say when it ends. They usually do. Maybe it says where it ends here. Does it say where it ends here? I haven't looked at this fully. I don't see it off the top of my head, but I'm sure it's here somewhere. Next, we're going to look. Actually, let's see what else is there, because I might save this for last, because this is pretty important. Oh, Dawn of Dragalia. Okay, let's go over this very quickly. in this trailer, they showed Miriam, who Miriam is here on this banner. And this banner, again, ends, I believe, on the 2nd. Yes, it ends on the 2nd. They also showed human mids and Alberius in a battle. Now, my original thought was Alberius would be the free unit because this event is about him. Like, fully about him. Just straight up an event about him. Lo and behold, he is probably not the free unit because, as you can see right here, human mids is shown in the art. And I think this is sort of like a Ilya situation where on the 2nd anniversary, the story was basically focused on Ilya and Mordecai, and then Mordecai became the free unit. So now instead of it being focused on them, it's focused on Alberia and human mids is the free unit. Honestly, this was one of my most wanted characters in Dragalia. I loved the fact that there were those humanoid dragons that we never got to see as people. They were always shown in Dragalia minis as Jupiter's Delusions, but it turns out they're actual real people. So this is super cool to me. I hope they continue this. I thought, personally, they were going to keep these as Gala characters. I thought this was going to be the next series of Gala characters we got alongside the true Archangels. So to see them here, it's super cool. I hope we get more, but I don't know what this means for the other ones. But I'm super glad about this. And I'm super glad about this entire event. I love lore of games, and for them to give us a lore-based event again that's tied to the story, that has very interesting characters, that's going to show things, that spins Dragalia on its head once again, because at the 2nd year anniversary we kind of found out about Elysium not being such a great guy with Ilya, and now we know that we're going to be fighting him. I'm all for this event, and the name sounds amazing, and there's a sword, and I hope we get that sword as a weapon skin, all this stuff. I'm super down here for it. So I'm super hyped for this event. I will be covering it on my channel. I will be going into it, talking about my impressions of the story, all that kind of stuff. Next, after that, just free daily 10-folds. Just so you know, it's going to be 6 on this banner, because it's going to go every day for this banner, and then 3 on the banner that probably will have Alberius and Chthonius on it. So just so you know, it might be a prize showcase, it might not. I have no idea. Don't take my word that it's a prize showcase. I'm simply going off the fact that Ilya was a prize showcase, and I believe Peckroom was also a prize showcase, that they might make this a prize showcase, but it doesn't really matter. This is the information we have. It's going to be 9 days, which means 90 summons, which means that you will be able to get 1 5-star on this banner, because you only need 60 summons to get a 5-star on a Gala. So you will be getting 1 5-star. I'm hoping I get not on my 6 free summons, but if I don't, I will be summoning for her fully. So expect that video coming up. So yeah, just 90 free summons, more than last year. I'm all for it. And then lastly, just event information, going over what events will be double dropped, when they'll be double dropped, and the time periods for all of the things mentioned for the double drop period. So basic information, we get this basically with every event. You know, they say, hey, these ruins are going to be double dropped, this battle is going to be on triple drops, that kind of thing. But this is more showing because it's the anniversary, it's going over all the time periods and stuff. So pretty much easy information. I'll link to this, I'll link to the main website so you guys can go look for anything you want. But now, let's get into the prize of all the news, the Gala Dragalia. Now, I already read through this, but I'm just going to read through it again, just because. So we have Gala Notte as our focus unit. I love this art. This art is so fantastic to me, because it has all of the, and I think it's even on the Twitter, if I go to the Twitter, it has all of the Gala characters in the background. Or all of the main cast Gala characters, like, I mean, Alex isn't there, unfortunately, but all of the launch characters that have been in since the beginning of the game with Notte, all shown. It has this beautiful, bright rainbow art. I love it. I love this art. These 2 artworks, Notte and Miriam, are probably some of my favorite artworks in the entire game. Because if you look here on Miriam, you see Cleo getting patted. That is one of the most adorable things I've ever seen, and I want this unit simply to have that, because that is, this is so funny to me. But these 2 artworks are just so fantastic to me. I love both of these artworks so much. This banner is going to be one of the hardest banners ever, because I think this is one of the first times in Dragalia's history I've wanted all of these characters for so long. So it's going to be awesome. But now let's go into Notte. Before we get into her abilities, I'm just going to quickly go over Metamorphosis, because she is a Dragon Drive character, or kind of like the Persona characters, like Tiki, like what's his name? I think it's Aldred, and Belina. they use Dragon Type. So it says, grant Notte a unique shapeshift called Metamorphosis and replaces the Dragon Type with the Metamorphosis gauge. Tapping the gauge will fill it up with third household will allow Notte to shapeshift, and while it's shapeshift, Notte will use the Metamorphosis transformation regardless of what dragon she has equipped. By tapping the gauge a second time or after the gauge has been consumed, Notte will return to her original form. Pretty cool, pretty good. And as you can see here, she deals target damage and dispels one buff, and if the combo count is 20 or higher, partially fills the Metamorphosis gauge. And then when she shapeshifts, she deals damage and inflicts Stormblast. So already on her first skill, she has Dispel, which is huge. Because probably gonna this unit is setting up for Legends Yellow, which is coming out I believe tomorrow. Pretty impressive unit already, just as is. And having Dispel on this unit is also in her skill 2, so we'll quickly over her skill 2. Deals damage to surrounding enemy, dispels one buff from the target, and if the combat count is 20 or higher, fills Metamorphosis gauge. And then her, when shapeshifted, deals damage to surrounding enemies, and then deals damage to enemies in a line. So she has 2 Dispel abilities, and then she also has 2 abilities that are focused around combo count, which I'm thinking she'll probably have a unique combo because she's a Gala unit. But even if she just plays like daggers get combo count super quickly. So it's going to be pretty unique to see her flying around the map and see her just racking up all this damage. And we can look at these mods now that they're here. This is a lot of damage for the SP cost. It's only 2,000 SP, and she's going to be doing over close to 2.5k with this, close to 2k with this, and dispelling, and then inflicting Stormlash. And then on this one, she's doing even more. Like, this is a lot of damage, and this is another dispel. It's gonna be interesting. And I believe this one's a Notte ball. So I was talking to people again about this. She seems sort of underwhelming in a flavor text sense to the year 2 Gala units. But I almost love that about her because, you know, you look at Gala Leonidas and Gala Shell, who are these characters that have paragraphs and paragraphs of information. And Shell has all this damage about how she does more damage if she's in a buff zone. She has this buff zone that goes around her. You know, really unique units. Notte, on the other hand, feels very basic, and not in a bad way, because I feel like this character is a character that's tied to the lore of Dragalia Lost. Every person who plays Dragalia Lost knows of Notte and knows of her connection, and I believe everyone who plays it is probably a Notte fan because she's one of the best characters in the game. So to have her play in a much more traditional style to the year 1 Gala units, while also keeping her own identity and sense and strength with how much she's able to do, it's super unique to me, and it makes me love this unit so much. My favorite weapon type is dagger. The only Gala dagger is Galaxy, and she has a completely unique combo count. She has a mode shift, she has like 4 strike damage stuff, like she has a bunch of stuff in her kit. And I really wanted for a long time a more traditional unit for the year 1 unit that still has the strength to hold up. And I think this honestly is one of the best units for that, because she's so basic in the sense of what she can do, and it's almost humble in a sense, and I really like that. And especially when we go into her abilities, she only has 2 abilities. She has Flurry Strength and susceptibility, reduced susceptibility to freeze and buff. You know, these are basic things compared to other Gala units who have paragraphs of things, you know, super duper effects that do a bunch of different things. She has pretty basic abilities. She has a normal collab. She has a pretty basic co ability, like chain co ability. All this stuff makes me love this unit more because I feel like she fits in so well for who she is. She's not trying to be more than she is. She's not trying to be a tactician like Cell or something. She's being Notte, and I love that. And I love the fact that she's playable. I love the fact that she's a dagger. I love the fact that she's a wind dagger because I love the dagger type, and the wind daggers are definitely the most lacking out of every element in my opinion. So to see this makes me super happy. Definitely something for her. Then we have Miriam, a woman who fought the Darna Empire 300 years ago at Aberius' side. Though she holds a quiet disposition, she eludes warmth and care and an unrivaled love for Aberius. She also modeled Bruhuda's human form. I find it super funny how Miriam was basically what Mim is for Uden to Aberius, and Mim just was like, yeah, that makes sense, and copied not only her form, but kind of her mentality of love. When we get into the unit though, this is where I have a question, just in general, because she's a wand, which means that she has her skill co ability, you know, skill damage, and she has, you know, basic co ability. But her first skill simply has like 6 words. Grants the user a strength amp. Now, when it says amps, it says strength amp is equal to team amp max level 2. I have no idea what this means. Maybe this has been shown in another unit and I just don't remember, or it hasn't and it's something brand new that I need to explain. But this, I have no idea what this does. And this plays a major part in her kit, because her second ability deals damage to directly the enemy head, draws them close together, and if the user has a team strength amp, restores HP to the user and nearby allies. So she's basically buffing herself and then healing allies based off of if she has a strength amp. And then all of her abilities, or her 2 special abilities, grants the user a 30% chance upon an enemy attack to activate reflexive dodge and dodge when the user has a team strength amp, and then strength amp equals skill haste, increases user skill rate by 10% when they have a team strength amp. Again, I don't know what strength amp is. People have been theorizing that this is a different form of strength that can't be countered by Curse Annihility, so that this unit doesn't fall off. Maybe that's what it is. People have been saying that it could be related to the total team strength added back as a buff, which if this is the total team strength added back as a buff, this unit might be crazy. If it's just like a 20% strength buff, she might be terrible. There's so much weird going on with this unit. I can't even like, this SP cost is super high for the damage, but I don't know what she's gonna do. So I can't, like, this is 3000 SP for this strength amp effect. I don't know what she's gonna do, and it's only on her. So maybe it buffs the whole team somehow, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know enough about this unit to say anything, other than the fact that I think people are gonna summon for her simply because she is basically OG Mim in a sense. So that's where I have at this point with this banner. I'm super hyped for Notte. I'm hyped for this unit in a lore sense, but I don't know what she's going to perform like. So hopefully we'll get to see that in the next couple of days. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.